Hello everyone, this is Mr. Laubach. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we are going to go over the first and second Great Awakenings and talk about how they were similar and how they were different. First, I'm going to go over the differences between the two awakenings, and then I'll go over the similarities. So let's start with the differences. Time period and setting. The first Great Awakening occurred during the 1730s and 1740s. It happened in colonial times when America was still under British rule and was mostly made up of farming communities. The Second Great Awakening came after the American Revolution. It took place from the 1790s up through the 1840s in a growing and more democratic country. The message. The First Great Awakening, preachers stressed how sinful people were and how much they needed God's grace to avoid eternal punishment. Jonathan Edwards' famous sermon, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, was all about that. The Second Great Awakening was way more upbeat. It focused on personal salvation, improving yourself, and making the world a better place. Reform and optimism were big themes. How they spread the word. In the First Great Awakening, preachers like George Whitefield and Jonathan Edwards gave emotional, intense sermons in smaller church settings and sometimes outdoors for George Whitefield. In the Second Great Awakening, huge outdoor camp meetings were the thing, drawing thousands of people. Preachers like Charles Finney used down-to-earth language and big crowds to spread the message. The impact on society. The First Great Awakening made people more personally religious and challenged the power of traditional churches, but its broader social effect was pretty limited. It did, however, set the stage for more religious diversity in the Americas. The Second Great Awakening had a much bigger societal impact. It inspired movements like abolition, women's rights, temperance, and education reform. It also got regular people, especially women, involved in activism. So the Second Great Awakening coincided with the Reform era. And now for the similarities. Both the First and Second Great Awakenings were all about reviving people's faith and getting them excited about religion again. They focused on waking people up spiritually and pushing back against the idea that religion was just about going through the motions. Reviving faith. Both were about bringing religion to life, making people feel real, personal connections to God. They wanted to shake things up and make faith matter again. Emotional appeal. Both movements were big on emotion. Preachers delivered powerful sermons to inspire fear, hope, and joy, whatever it took to move people and bring them closer to God. Challenging tradition. They both pushed back against the idea that you had to rely on church leaders or traditions to connect with God. It was more about you, your Bible, and your personal faith. Ordinary people got involved. Regular folks got way more involved in religion during both awakenings. Women, for example, played bigger roles, and the movements made space for everyday people to lead and share their faith. Boosted evangelical churches. Newer, more, quote, on fire churches like the Baptists and Methodists grew a lot during both awakenings because they really connected with the energy and message of the revival. Big impact on society. These movements didn't just stay in church. They changed society too. The First Awakening helped unite the colonies in a shared experience for the first time. And the Second Great Awakening inspired reform, as we mentioned earlier, like abolition, women's rights, and temperance. In short, both awakenings were about stirring a passion for faith, empowering individuals, and shaking up society along the way. So I hope you learned more about the Second and First Great Awakening, how they were similar, and how they were different. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of the day.